The guest I'm joined by today is someone who I've known for years, and we've interacted so much, and I've honestly had so much love and admiration for her. And I think it's such a brilliant time because what we're talking about is her film Gandhi Talks, and here she is stepping from her role as an actor to stepping into sort of in a way the driver's seat with production, and that is of course Meerra Chopra. So Meera, thank you so much for joining me on Filme Shilmy, and huge congratulations on Gandhi Talks and for you establishing Pinc Moon Meta Studios as well, your production house. I mean, wow, big achievements.
Thank you, Anush. Thank you for such a great introduction. Yes, a big step forward in my career and extremely excited about it, extremely nervous about it. But um, I couldn't have asked for a better debut. So I'm blessed. I think I've done some really good past karmas to get a debut like this. Yeah.
Amazing. But do you know what? I think it's really fascinating actually because I mean Gandhi Talks, I mean, looks like an exceptional film. First of all, it's a silent film, which is
Yes.
itself rare, you know, and for
Yes.
it to have like also actors in the commercial space really sort of support the film. The fact that you've also got Zee Studios, a really big production company like that, also on board, you know, to produce the film as well and present the film. Um I mean, so many different milestones within this milestone. I mean, how has it been for you to sort of, I guess, compartmentalize, you know, the different aspects of this journey so far for the film?
It's a very tough question to ask. It has been a very, very tough journey because, the moment you say a silent film, people start assuming that it's artsy, it's experimental, it's, it's a niche film. But, you would be amazed that we got most commercial actors to act in it. Vijay Sethupathi sir, Arvind Swamy, Aditi, and we got Rahman sir to do the music. It has all the components to which makes an extremely commercial film. Um, Yet it's a silent one. None of the actors they have any there's not even one dialogue in the film. So to it was a tough journey to convince the actors that hey, it's not an experimental film, it's not an art film. It's just that it has no dialogues, but everything that you're doing in a movie is extremely commercial. Like Vijay sir has an item number. Like there's a song where he's dancing, where he's having fun. So yeah, I think it was a combination of very different things coming together, and on every step to convince a studio, to convince actors, to convince investors. It was not an easy journey, but having said that, I feel eventually the team that came together was the best team that we could have asked for. Z, I don't think so we could have gotten a better studio than Z.
Yeah.
um Oh my God, the way they supported this film is is I mean, I thank them for that because nobody else would have done that because um it was a risky call to take because I said that during the audio launch too, that we are consuming films which are very noisy. We are consuming films which are full of aggression. And here we are offering you a film which is silent and has no dialogues. And the entire meaning of every scene is conveyed by music. Less consumer for that product, but somebody has to believe it and somebody has to back it and present it to the world. And Z has done that fabulously.
No, beautifully said. And I think for me, what Z has often represented and what I've always said is that they're very non-partisan in their approach. You know, if they're showing films or stories of two different worlds or different components, they'll always take a middle ground. They'll always take that human ground, which I think is something which is very much in line with Gandhi talks. Obviously, like because obviously what we can only gauge is from, like you said, the visuals, because there is the omission of dialogues in the film. What I can gauge from it is that there's a lot of aspects that is there in the film. There's obviously financial hardship, there's emotional hardship, there's love. There's so many different themes that are peppered into the film from what I've seen anyway. I think for you as a producer, what was your first instinct like when you thought that you would want to back something which is completely hatke, so to speak?
So, the guy behind this film, the director of this film, Kishor Belekar, I know him since last almost 10 years. It's so random that when I was doing Section 375, I used to go to him for my diction,
Oh,
Marathi diction. He was my Marathi coach,
right.
because he's a very affluent Marathi director and acting coach. So I used to go to him for my diction. And while I was doing workshops with him, he gave me an idea of this film. And I told him, "Are you mad to even think like that?" At that time, also, I told him that are you mad to even think like that? You want to do something big for the first time. Why don't you take a safer, easy route? Because that's what everybody does. That's what I told him. Take a safer, easy route, which will be easy to mount, which will be easy to sell. Um, but Kishore, being Kishore, he's an extremely passionate, extremely persistent, and a guy who has a lot of conviction in what he thinks.
Hmm.
I think he got no's from a lot of actors for Gandhi Talk. He got no's from a lot of producers for Gandhi Talk, but he didn't give it up. So when I saw his conviction and his persistence towards his craft and towards what he thought he wants to do, I was like, I really want to help him in some way. So I think that was the root of it. कि अगर कोई बंदा इतनी पागल, if somebody is chasing something with such intense
Action.
madness, I would say. I don't even call it a passion. Passion is a very light word for what he has done. He's been living with this script since last 25 years, and he's been chasing people since last 10 years for this film. So it was madness. Not even once he thought, let me just keep it aside and do something else.
Hmm.
Anybody would have done that. Let me just make a smaller film you know, with something which is more sellable. But no, he didn't do that. And when you see somebody so mad about his conviction, you want to back them up. And I think in my journey of production of going forward, I want to back such mad people.
Amazing. No, of
Yeah,
course.
I want to.
But that's what drives creatives, right? In
Yeah,
this industry.
even you feel so great about yourself. From where I started in this movie and today from where I've reached, I feel so proud of myself.
I feel proud of you because I feel like I've
Yeah,
seen this journey of yours since Gumnaam Hai Koi, since 1920 London.
yeah, yeah. And believe me, Anuj, if I would have backed any other film, I don't think so. I would have felt this pride that I feel today about Gandhi Talks and about me backing it. So, yeah.
No, and you should definitely feel very proud because let me tell you, I mean, we'll talk about the independent sort of rise of independent producers rising in the industry currently later. But I think I want to definitely delve into the director that you mentioned. I've not seen his other films. I must admit, I have not seen his other films, but I have read up a
So,
little bit about.
yeah, he's done only one Marathi film called Yeda. So
Hmm.
he's relatively a very new guy. And again, for a new guy, the entire casting, Rahman sir, everything fell into place because of this guy. Nobody has any contribution into this. So he convinced everybody, he got everybody together. He was relatively a new guy. And I think everybody said yes to his madness and to his conviction and to his passion.
Amazing. No, absolutely. And I think what I genuinely find very fascinating is because it seems like, I mean, there's something very Mani Ratnam-esque about this. Maybe it's because you've got actors who have worked with Mani Ratnam. I don't know. And obviously you've got Rahman sir's music as well.
Yes,
But
yes.
it almost feels like a hat tip to Mani Ratnam sir. But then at the same time, it's got this very strong earthy Marathi flavor that really does
It
creep in.
has, it has, it has.
And I
It
love
has
that
it
fusion. Yeah.
it has an old school charm, I feel.
Yeah.
Um, it has a very Roja feel,
Yeah, basically.
right? Yes. And when you will see the film and when you will listen to the music, so the entire BGM is being given by Rahman sir. Only it's not only the song, the entire music of the film is by Rahman sir. There are some bits and pieces of music which doesn't feel belongs to. It feels that those music pieces have come from some parallel universe. We have not heard those sounds before. We have not heard. um I don't know what are technical terms for music, but it feels like they are not earthy. They are not is earth ke nahi hai. They are coming from some parallel universe. So
Divine
it gives
almost.
you,
Ah,
yes, it gives you goosebumps. So Rahman sir has done some terrific job, which is crazy, which is crazy.
yeah. No, I mean he is definitely a maestro, and I'm so glad to, it's your debut production and he's definitely scored the soundtrack for it. But I think also getting like I want to talk a bit about the actors because I know you mentioned that obviously and understandably so a lot of the actors, refuse the film, but I'm so glad that you've got the cast that you have got. Um Was it an instant yes for them? What was that process like of actually getting them? And what was it, do you think, that really resonated the most with them in convincing them to come on board for the film?
I think so the first person who came on board was Rahman sir. And when he came on board, the process became relatively easier. Because when somebody like Rahman sir is backing the film, then people start taking you seriously. Um, and Vijay sir, Aditi, and Arvind sir, he's my favorite in the film. He's so good. He's so good.
Incredible.
I think all three of them, they just wanted to do something different.
Hmm. Right.
They, I think they were bold enough they were courageous enough to take this decision. Okay, we can pull this off, because many actors would be scared to act in a silent film where you're not talking. You have to emote with your eyes, you have to emote with your emotions. I mean, you are not dependent on talking and dialogues, and very few actors are comfortable doing that. Only those ones who are so confident of their craft would say yes to it, and that's what eventually happened. I think these three people were bold enough, brave enough to say yes to it. They just took a challenge to do something different.
Right. And you know what? A challenge. I'm going to use that word challenge because I think that is exactly what defines Gandhi Talks, I think, for sure. But obviously it's a risk, Meera, and I think
Of
I think
course.
I think, not to quote Scam 1992, but ishq hai to risk hai, and I think this industry is literally about that. I think being in the creative field is literally about taking risks and, taking the plunge. So I think for you, was there any amount of fear or a sort of a duvida, so to speak, कि मतलब ये कर सकती हूँ या नहीं कर सकती हूँ? What was your internal process like actually when you were deciding to transition from someone in front of the camera to behind?
So for a very long time, I was looking for something which was risk-free, where I knew that whatever money I'm putting in the project, I would get it back. I don't care about the profits, but I want my principal to come back to me. So I was looking for those kind of projects, and there are plenty like that. I'm not saying they're not, they are plenty like that. But there's no fun doing that. There's no maza in that. When you want to, when you really want to have fun, be on the edge to do something that you believe in, you have to take little bit of risk. I think every great, good, brave thing in life will come at a certain risk. and you have to decide if you want to do that or if you want to play safe. So I always, at every cusp of my production journey, I think I had to take that decision that do I want to play safe or do I want to take a risk and do something which will make me feel proud and which will make me मेरे को मजा आएगा वो करने में.
Mm,
And I think I chose to be like this, that I'm ready to take certain risk, but I want to feel good in what I'm giving out to the world. Of course, Gandhi Talk is a risky project.
mm,
But that risk can lead us anywhere. That risk can literally make our life forever. And if not, eventually it's okay. We're going to lose some money. That's okay. But the journey which this movie will take us to, I think we would not have that journey with any other safer film, I would say.
mm. No, absolutely. And I think that, so when you say your production journey, because obviously this is your first film releasing as a producer, so I'm presuming that you've had either offers or you've considered other films to produce in the
Oh,
process
yes,
before this,
yes,
right?
yes, 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 yes. Before Gandhi Talks, there were three films that I had signed the directors. We had sat on the sittings of writing, and I didn't do them.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very unprofessional of me. It was no, I didn't feel good about it that, I'm backing out after signing directors, giving hope to somebody that, this will eventually go on floor. But something, that's what I'm saying. Production journey is not easy because you don't want to put your money in something that you don't believe in, even though you feel that it's a safe bet.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was tough for me. I did back out of certain films where, in the course of that journey, I felt that no, this is not what I want to do. So Gandhi Talk didn't make me feel like that even once.
Wow.
In fact, today, honestly, I feel extremely, extremely proud of this product. And I don't think so. Um, I will get a chance to do something like this again in near future because there are such few people who are trying to do something like this.
Yeah, true. And I think it's I think it's just come at such a it's just taken a lot of us by surprise, I think. Like, because I think we're seeing, and there's often conversation about, wanting to see films which are out of the grain, films that are very different. But I think this one really, pushes you, doesn't it? It really pushes you, and I love that.
I
So,
got so many calls. I got so many calls from the media, from my friends, from fraternity friends asking, is it really a silent film? Because nobody could believe it.
yeah.
Everybody was like, really, it has no dialogues? I'm like, no, it has no dialogues. And yeah, for some people, it was an extremely interesting concept, and some people were like, don't you think it's too risky? So that is what I'm saying. Very few people are trying to do something which is so out of the box. And we as an audience, Anuj, we keep complaining that we are not making different cinema. We are not doing something which is not original. We are copying new old ideas. But when you do something which is so new and which is so original, I I hope that audience will show that love. Because if movies like this will not work, new people would not attempt to do something different. I always feel that it's such a vicious circle. You
Mm,
do something different and it will not work, and people will not do something different again. And if you will do something different, you need love from the audience. That is very,
mm.
very important.
Yeah, no, definitely, absolutely, for sure. Now, I used a word called hatke earlier. And I think that word, which means dynamic, loosely translated in English, and I think that really does sort of represent the course of your journey in cinema. It has been dynamic, and it's not been easy for sure. I'm sure there's been lots of upheavals. You've had some successes, you've had some hits and misses. It's been up and down. And ironically also, it marks a decade this year since your Hindi cinema journey began with 1920 London. Um,
Wow. I didn't even realize that.
so
You're just
yeah.
making me feel extremely old.
I wouldn't say old. I would probably replace the word old with wise. But
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right, actually, yes.
but I think when you look back, because obviously you began with horror, which again is a very distinct way of, debuts being done. But then again, we've had actors who have begun with horror and they've made a flourishing career out of it. You've had, a lot of films which I think in the later stages of your career, like a Safed, you've had Section 375, which were very socially driven films, which seem to have really struck a chord with the audience. Do you feel like also because the fact that you had that and then also you begun your journey in cinema with a lot of South films as well, it almost feels like Gandhi Talks is a culmination of your journey in cinema because you've had the social aspects in Gandhi Talks. You've got the sort of the southern flavor because obviously you've got Arvind sir and you've got like Rahman sir and Arvind Swamy on board. And then also you've kind of had that social aspect as well. It almost feels like a culmination of your career so far, doesn't it, Meera? I mean, how would you look back at not only these 10 years in Hindi cinema, but then the course of your journey so far?
So with this particular production, I feel that life has come to a full circle for me because I'll take this question in various parts. With this production, I feel life has come to a full circle because my first film as an actor in Tamil was Anbe Aaruyire. The music was given by Rahman sir. My first film as an actor was with Rahman sir, and my first production is with Rahman sir. So, in that sense, I feel that life has come to a full circle. But as you mentioned, my journey has been extremely, I would say, yeah, like a lot of up and downs. Never been extremely happy. Lot of times disappointed, and I felt that do I even want to do this? A lot of times I felt that Meera, let's just leave it and do something else. Um, yeah, it wasn't a very happy space for me as an actor when I talk about Bollywood because it was a constant struggle and constant hustle, which I got tired of after a point. And I think the slowdown of my acting career happened because I was tired. I was
Mm,
tired of hustling. I was tired of constantly looking for work. And it was a very conscious decision on my part that I don't want to hustle anymore. And lately I've started believing, Anuj, I don't know. I like after meeting Kishore, who has stuck to one project for 25 years. I have started feeling maybe what I think is not right. But what I had started believing is um, you give a lot to something in your life passionately, lovingly, hardworkingly. And if that doesn't happen, maybe that's not in your destiny. And accept it and move on and look for something else. And that's what I accepted as an actor. I started believing that I have given my everything, but maybe this is not in my destiny and I'm just pushing myself for it. So accept it, don't run after it, and start doing something else. And that is why I started production. Because I just wanted to see that am I failing everywhere or it's just
mm,
acting which is not happening? And, refreshingly, I would say that my production journey has been extremely fruitful. It's a journey of only 2.5 years when I thought that, I want to take it seriously. It's just not one film, but I want to do a lot of projects under Pink Moon. Um, it just kept happening.
mm.
It just kept happening. Of course, I was working hard, but I was not hustling. Everything I was working hard for, it kept happening, which never happened in my acting career. So maybe it was just meant to be. I have taken it as a sign from God. Not saying that I'm gonna quit acting. It's a passion. I would just keep it as a passion. I will do it whenever I'll feel like. But production is something I'm gonna take forward in my career. And I want to tell stories, which are incredibly different than what people are making right now.
It's very interesting. And you know what? I can understand how you feel because I think it makes you question your self-worth a little bit, doesn't it? Because I feel like, you're not chasing valid. It's a very weird thing actually being in the creative industry, and I can vouch for this even as a broadcaster, as a journalist, as a film enthusiast, whatever you want to call it. But you're not chasing validation, but at the end of the day, you need that validation to survive in this industry.
Oh,
And
you definitely need validation. If you're an actor, you're constantly looking for validation. I think more than money, more than anything else, you're constantly looking for admiration from your audience, validation from your audience. And if it doesn't come through, you don't feel good about it.
absolutely. And I promise you that I wouldn't bring any of your family members in this conversation. And I'm not gonna, but I think the context here matters. Um I think it's interesting though, because when you've got someone obviously like a Priyanka Chopra, who is your relative, right? And you sort of look at her production journey as well. Very inspiring. Purple Pebble Pictures is amazing. The sort of way they've championed the whole Pan India spirit before Pan India even became a known
Yes.
thing. Pretty incredible. Um, and I think when you have that, and then you also have the fact that she really appreciated Gandhi Talks as well on her Instagram story. That must, in a way, not from a validation perspective, but even from an emotional, cerebral front, because family often represents a time of innocence, a time of when we were growing up. So it's almost like a very weird combination, right? It's like in the industry, but at the same time, it's also family. So that must feel also a way for you to all, in a way, reconnect with your innocence as well. I mean, just sort of putting this thought out there, and I would love to know what you thought about that reaction and maybe how that has been a bit of an inspiration for you in terms of, taking that risk and, going forward with it.
So, okay. Of course, I think for all of us, Priyanka was the one who entered the industry the first. And, all of us only looked up to her and thought that maybe we could do it too. But not necessarily she made it everybody else will too, just because we are sisters. It's not gonna
True,
happen.
of course. You can't
It's not
compare. Yeah.
it's not gonna happen. But the way she has carved her space in the global spectrum of this world as an actor, as a philanthropist. I think her journey, at least for me, I'm not going to talk about others, but for me, it has been extremely, extremely, extremely inspiring. To the extent that every time I feel that I will not be able to do this, every time I feel not confident about myself, I just tell myself that if she can do it, at least I can try.
Hmm.
Um, if she has achieved so much, maybe I can try to achieve 1% of that. And even she has achieved everything by her own hard work, by her sheer luck, destiny, not anybody supporting her, not having any mentor. She didn't have anybody. Whatever she has done today is by her own hard work. So when she can do that, why can't us? And Anuj, I'm telling you, it's not just me who feels like that. I think Priyanka is a role model for so many Indian girls. I
Hmm.
meet so many of them who'll just come up and tell me कि she's your sister. She inspired us in every way, and we want to be like her. So
Hmm.
she inspired every Indian Asian girl to do something which we don't think that we are capable of or we feel weak about. And she gives me strength every time when I feel weak about myself. So I think in that ways, she's a great inspiration. Of course, she's a family, and she has always she has always supported each one of us in her own way. I mean, she is a beautiful, beautiful soul.
Yeah.
I've always said that she doesn't have to because she's become too big. She can say that, figure out yourself.
True, true.
You know,
And
she
believe
can.
me, in this day and age, it happens, huh? Like it can easily
Yes,
happen, especially with family
yes,
and all. Yeah.
yes, yes. She can say, let guys figure out yourself, but she's always there to help you out.
Oh, bless you. And I can feel that it's getting a little bit sentimental, so I'm gonna detour from this and sort of move it forward. Okay. No, but I think no, but I understand, and I understand how difficult it's been for you, Meera. But you must honestly, I think you definitely should pat yourself on the back because really you've done very well. I tell you
But you know,
what.
let me tell you something. If this journey would have been very easy for me, I would have been a very different person.
Hmm.
Just because of the difficulties that I faced in this industry, and just because I was alone in everything that I was doing, it has made me such a strong, such a wise, such a like I know that I can handle anything that is thrown at me. I mean, I just know it. Just because of the journey, just because of the difficult journey I've had in this industry, it has made me rock solid. So yeah, that's what I feel really good about.
Interestingly, I think
Nothing matters to me. Nothing can shake me up.
that's brilliant. And honestly, I think resilience is really a Chopra trait, by the way. I think you just naturally your
I think so.
DNA.
Yeah. I think it's in our DNA.
Yeah, actually, seriously, no, I love that. But do you remember in the beginning of this interview, I mentioned about the rise of independent producers and
Yes.
how, for example, I think Dhurandhar last year, I mean, a brilliant film, and I think what it has
Yes.
definitely done, it's kind of reinvigorated this whole conversation about underdog. And I think interestingly, I was speaking with Nikhil Advani as well the other day, and we were literally talking about the underdog spirit and how literally that's coming into more full force now. Underdog wala spirit. Um, I mean, it must feel very reassuring, I think, for you because it's a great time, I think, for cinemas. You're seeing the big ticketed, the big event films that are coming, and we're loving those. But also we're seeing the rise of, you know, independent movies. Like, for example, I watched this film called One Two Cha 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 recently, a comedy film. Brilliant. I mean, honestly, it brought back the flavor from the 2000s. And it's great, isn't it? We're seeing nostalgia, we're seeing the big event films, but yet we're seeing films that are also risky and edgy. That must also reassure you, surely, as well.
You know, I was just talking to somebody yesterday that I was saying that like Border. Somebody told me
Oh, yeah.
Border did like 64 crores on a Monday on 26th January, which it's a figure which is unheard of. So I was just telling somebody that, you know, we are right now the time in Bollywood, or I would say Indian film industry is such, you just don't know what will work, what will connect with the audience, because the films that are working are such different in flavor.
Hmm.
It's not one kind of cinema which is working, you know, it's like a breath of different flavors which are working with different section of people. So yeah, it's not one kind of cinema which is working. It's such a refreshing time because you just don't know what will strike the chord with the audience, and if it does like Dhurandhar did, like Border is doing, then there is no end to the box office.
Hmm.
um, I hope that happens with Gandhi Talk too, yeah.
Yeah. Or we can manifest it, surely.
We should definitely manifest.
But I tell you what, whether or not the box office lives up or not, that is a complete different monster. But I think not monster, but it's a different game altogether.
Yeah, it is.
Different
It
game
is. It
altogether.
is.
But you've obviously, people will remember the films. It's like just interestingly, just before we came on this call, I was on Instagram and I was looking at reels and I saw some reels celebrating Lina Yadav's Parched, which also is in its 10th year. And I was like, this is amazing. And I love this. I love the fact that, audiences, especially the youth of today, are awakening to films and they are accepting of different voices in cinema. Whether or not they agree with the lens, whether or not they kind of support it, but it's
Wow.
beautiful. It's beautiful. So like what I was saying about Gandhi Talks, चाहे box office पे चले या ना चले, of course we manifest and we hope that वो चले, of course, but
We are releasing the movie in 6 languages. एक box office पे तो चलेगी यार.
yeah, वही तो, like, yeah, exactly.
So because the movie has no dialogues, we are releasing it in 6 different languages. Rahman sir has recorded music in 6 different languages. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it will strike a chord with some section of people that we are releasing it
No,
at.
absolutely. No, I think definitely for sure. Let's go back to Pinc Moon Meta Studios because I know you did mention slightly that, you wanna kind of champion more films which are, different, obviously, and that are going kind of, yeah, which are quite diverse. It's interesting because even, when I see big stars in South, for example, Dulquer Salman with Wayfarer Films, I think the way he's also championing this whole creative, movies which are very different. I love that. Obviously in Hindi cinema, you've obviously got like Maddock as well doing that. It's wonderful, great, great, great examples. But I think for you, what defines Mad, first of all, as you mentioned with the director of Gandhi Talks, and what defines different for you in terms of project wise as well?
I think what defines a good cinema for me, I would not call it different or, mad, is something which you don't see it much often. Um, Something which is not regular, and something which starts a doubt in your mind about anything. It shouldn't be, I don't like ideas which I hear and which I constantly feel कि चलो ये तो करते हैं. एक confusion होनी चाहिए दिमाग में. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Because those are the kind of script which arises confusion in your mind will stay with people who will watch it, I feel. A
Mm,
clear cut yes and no's, they bore me. Like something which confuses your mind, which confuses your heart, I feel good about that. So I think something which I'm never sure of, I think those are the projects I'm gonna back.
nice.
I don't know, it might sound crazy, but I think that's what I'm gonna back. Not a sure shot yes and no. I'm not gonna back those projects.
Interesting. Yeah, no, it's good that you kind of want that sort of again dynamism, in terms of the projects that you want to choose. So, final question, 10 years ago, when you were new on the scene, when you did 1920 London to now, uh a Meerra Chopra that we've established throughout the course of this conversation, who is resilient, who is someone who can life can throw anything at and you will definitely fight back, which is amazing. What we've heard about Gandhi Talks, but what does Meera Talks mean now? What would you say is that one thing that would kind of be like, yeah, this is my sort of my joie de vivre, as they say in French, but my kind of way in life now going forward.
It has not changed since many years. I think my way of life forward is um I just live with myself. I'm a loner. I don't share my things with many people. I don't like discussing things with many people. Um, I just do what I believe in. I don't believe in cliches. When somebody very senior or very experienced would come to me and give his bit of mind, I would not even take that. I would just say that I will do what I feel like. I will do what my heart is saying. I will do what my mind is telling me to do. And that's what I've done since so many years. In my course of journey, so many people told me you should do this, you should do that. We know better. We are more experienced. It has never gelled with me. I feel you know what's best for you always. Nobody else can come and tell you what's best for you. Nobody else can take decisions on your behalf because your mind knows what you're capable of. Your heart knows what you're capable of. And I've always followed that. I think more aggressively, I'm going to follow that in my journey forward. I have partnered with really big people, really good people, but still with them, I follow what I feel like. So I'm taking a very stern decisions in my life, and I think that will save me and that will keep me going forward.
Amazing. No, that's wonderful. And look, on a positive note, I'm gonna definitely say that look, Gandhi Talks is looks like a very special film. I've not seen the film,
Yes.
so I can't comment on it yet. But what I
Yes.
can definitely say is that from the glimpses that we've seen, there's a lot of love that's gone into it. There's a bit of a passion that's there, and I'm looking forward to really witnessing this.
Yes, please watch it. I think we are releasing it in UK also.
Yeah,
Um, please go and watch the film. You will be exhilarated because it's such a beautiful, different experience.
no, definitely. I'm really looking forward to that. But thank you so much, Meera, for joining me. This is a very,
Thank
very special
you.
conversation, and I think even though it's been years since we've been waiting to do an interview,
I know.
but I'm
Are you
glad.
coming? Do you come to Bombay?
Not really. Because I just don't it's because usually I just don't really come to Mumbai when I'm in India, but
Okay. Okay.
I maybe hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Maybe you should come to
Do that.
London, even though London is going through its upheavals at the moment, but
No,
still
no, I am planning to come to London in March. If I come, we are seeing each other.
100%. That's a given.
100%. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, look,
Yes.
Mira, wishing you all the very best for Gandhi Talks, and thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this great conversation.
you.